And good Friday to everybody. Thanks for stopping by GardenStateWeather.com, New Jersey and the Northern Mid-Atlantic region's weather portal. I'm forecaster Robert Smith with the daily in-depth video forecast discussion for Friday, the 17th of May, 2013. And this morning at sunrise, clear skies. Clear skies as the sun comes up just about everywhere from the Hudson Valley into New Jersey and down through Philadelphia, the Delmarva region. Temperatures are running generally from the mid-50s to the lower 60s in the southern locations, and all winds are on the light side, all from the northwest at they're either calm or they're about 5 miles per hour. And it's going to be a beautiful Friday for most locations from the Hudson Valley down through the northern Delmarva. This morning we have some mid-level clouds spilling over the top of this ridge here to the south and west. High pressure building in across the Great Lakes will maintain a northwest flow today. We could be dealing with some sea breezes later this afternoon as the flow is very light this morning, but we'll just have to wait and see if that actual sea breeze front develops and moves inland along the New Jersey coast, and also portions of Long Island near JFK and LaGuardia and Islip, and see if that works out too. And brightening of the satellite view here shows some high cirrus clouds as well across the region, but they're opaque and they're translucent actually, so not opaque but translucent, so there's a lot of clear skies across the region this morning. And a larger view of the satellite this morning shows, the water vapor anyway, shows high pressure building across southeastern New Canada into New England, and high pressure also to the south here. There's a couple of disturbances here. This is an upper level low here across the Tennessee Valley, and more convection ongoing along this boundary, which was the frontal boundary to the south. High pressure will build into the region today. We have some high clouds already on the water vapor showing up that will spill over the top of this ridge, and it's already showing that they're developing and moving into the area. But today will be mostly sunny. There'll be some high clouds around the region and even some lower convective clouds, but we're not really anticipating any convection today as the atmosphere is quite stable and very dry. This upper level low and disturbance diving and trough developing and diving into the west coast will help maintain a ridge across the central part of the country, and eventually this upper low, which is cut off from the flow, will meander very slowly to the north and east, and as high pressure moves off the New England coast, we'll have more of an onshore flow. And of course, that baroclinic zone where that frontal boundary lies will be very difficult to forecast over the weekend into early next week, as we have an onshore flow developing, and just where the front lies will be determined by daytime heating and how much convection will be forming and where the convection will be forming across the region. Kind of muddled, isn't it? And for the aviational deck, we're expecting VFR conditions mainly today, tonight, and tomorrow, although some areas may get into marginal VFR conditions during the day tomorrow. But for today, scattered clouds, about 5,000 feet or so. Those would be the cumulus clouds in the afternoon, but high clouds, the cirrus clouds, scattered about 25,000 feet, and most of these will be scattered to few across the region. The scattered clouds will be actually the higher variety cirrus, and the few cumulus clouds scattered across the region this afternoon. And then for tonight, we get more into a broken sky with 15,000 feet across the region, but generally VFR conditions. And on the marine deck, the only advisories here that we have is for central and eastern Long Island out towards the Cape, where small craft advisories are in effect until 6 a.m. Early this morning. Outside of that, once those expire, which they have, we're not really expecting much in the way of any small craft advisory criteria into the weekend. We'll have northwest winds becoming southwest late today at 3 to 5 feet, subsiding to 2 to 4 feet. Tonight, northwest wind at 5 to 10 knots, becoming north after midnight. Saturday, northeast winds 5 knots, becoming southeast in the afternoon. Saturday night, southerly winds 5 to 10 knots. Sunday night, southeast winds at around 15 knots. And on Monday, southerly winds increasing to 10 to 15 knots, but then diminishing off during the afternoon. On Tuesday, southwest flow 5 to 10 knots, seas 4 to 6 feet, and there is a chance of showers and thunderstorms possibly by Tuesday. And this is the current satellite water vapor satellite imagery with the overlaid with the 500 millibar analysis and heights this morning. We can see the ridge here across the central plains, some convection already forming over the top of this ridge here. We have not too much of a trough here, but we do have an upper low here across southeastern Canada, east of Hudson's Bay. A couple of vort maxes through it, generally a northwest flow, a west flow to east flow, which is a zonal flow aloft across the region. So some of this convection and high clouds will get in and out of the region during today and tonight too. Here's our upper low now over the Tennessee Valley, which is beginning to open up. This is the same cold pool that produced the massive tornadoes across portions of northern Texas 2 days ago, where as many as 6 people have perished. And basically what we're looking at this morning and throughout the afternoon hours is some of the high cloud debris from this convective complex here moving west to east in the upper level flow. The NAM forecast reflectivity and cloud product. In and out of the clouds, mostly high clouds today, a few lower cumulus clouds across the region. Here is our frontal boundary, which is kind of stalled out here across the southern edges of the northern mid-Atlantic. A ridge across a building or high pressure across the region from Hudson's Bay, or the Great Lakes region rather, moving towards southeastern New England and then off the coast. The winds are going to veer tomorrow from where they are now. We'll have a weak flow aloft, so we could have some sea breeze development both this afternoon and tomorrow, and then the winds really just become onshore, and this increases the mid and low level cloud cover a bit as we get through Saturday night and Sunday. But the NAM model now keeps most of the precipitation to the south, but there could be a few scattered showers around, especially southern locations of Jersey and the Delmarva region. These would be very light, possibly even some drizzle if the depth of the moisture off the ocean gets in here enough to allow for some fog or even some low cloud and drizzle to form across the region. And the onshore wind will have an effect on temperatures, but for the most part inland locations getting into the 70s both today and Saturday, dropping off into the 50s during tonight and Saturday night, and temperatures returning into the lower 70s inland and upper 60s across the region on Sunday. Of course, the coolest spots will be along the coastal regions in the afternoon, where the sea breeze develops and moves right inland along the coast. And once again, there are some flip-flops here in the models, especially the convective models, our surface, our local models, the NAM, WRF, and the GFS. Now, basically, the difference between these is just how they're handling where the frontal boundary is going to be setting up over the weekend. We can see high pressure off the New England coast and mid-Atlantic coast setting up a southeast flow. And as we get through Saturday afternoon, again, some very light rain could get into the Delmarva as the afternoon heating of the day, and some surface waves along the frontal boundary translate from west to east. The important thing is, as we get through the day on Sunday, most of the region should still be dry. There'll be some cloud cover around and even some showers here, especially across southern New Jersey and the Delmarva region. And by Sunday afternoon, we can see that the NAM, or the GFS rather, brings in a southeast flow, a couple of waves here along the frontal boundary translating through, and then some light rain, or perhaps even some heavier rain at times in spots across the region. These would be local. These would not be anything very, very widespread. But if the GFS actually turns out to be more true and we have more of a southeast flow, increasing the moisture transport into and feeding this into the region, then more cloud cover and even showers could break out here by later Sunday, Sunday night, and early on Monday, as this warm front probably meanders to the south, but disturbances riding through the front and over the top of the front, getting in and out of here. But we'll probably be dealing with more cloud cover and scattered showers, increasing in coverage and possibly a little bit heavier in intensity too as we get through Sunday night and Monday morning. And this is the 8 to 10 day mean ensemble differences between the GFS and the European models going out for the next 8 to 10 days. Ending time would be on Monday, Memorial Day, the 27th of May. We can see a ridge here in the central part of the country, actually extending into central and northern Canada, a trough along the northwest coast, and also a trough across the eastern United States, the northeastern United States. And of course, we still have that blocking with ridging over Greenland on both the models, the European to somewhat of a lesser degree, but still it shows up this configuration on both, keeping the eastern seaboard in a battle zone between high pressure to the south and west, troughing and disturbances moving across southeastern New England, backdoor cold fronts. So if you were expecting quite a bit of unsettled and changeable weather through this period, now every day is going to be stormy, and certainly But it does ring true, probably under this kind of configuration, that we will be in a battle zone here across the northern mid-Atlantic between very warm sunny days and then where, it looks like where days where stationary fronts are going to set up across the region and disturbances move along them. So it's going to be a day-by-day battle through the end of the month in terms of weather forecasts on a daily basis. And yes, I'm still a little muddled because I'm still have some illness here related to these allergies and sinus conditions. So that's going to do it for this week for GardenStateWeather.com. I'm forecaster Robert Smith. You have a pleasant weekend. We'll be back bright and early with you on Monday morning.